Hi, I'm out here at the orchard. It's 2 weeks today since I tripped and hurt myself, rupturing the Achilles tendon. It's now in a rather nice purple plaster. Well, it's not actually plaster, it's some sort of synthetic material. And this is a considerable improvement on what I had before. They offered me a choice of colour. Well, what do you think I went for? You must have heard of the song Purple Haze. Anyway, it's out at the orchard. This is the first time I've been at the orchard for more than 2 weeks, and I am glad to be here. Julia has dropped me off here and said, "You sit here and play your guitar and test the cider to make sure it's still okay, because we're having some friends around for a barbecue tomorrow, and we'll be offering people drinks and that. It'll be a good time." Yeah, reflections on disability. Well, it's a bit sombre. My adrenaline and endorphin rush is probably burned down. I've had a lot of challenge, a lot of problems, and I've achieved quite a lot. I've just actually run my course. I've done a lot of work recently in education about skin cancer. If anyone's interested in that, they can go to my blog at dermoscopy.wordpress.com. Or just do a Google search on Stephen Hayes dermoscopy skin cancer, for example. They'll probably find, I don't want to go on about it here, it's not the place to talk about it really, but it's something I do a lot, and I was in London yesterday. Quite educational, quite instructive. I've discovered that a lot of people are very kind and very helpful. I think I knew that already, but I want to say South West Trains. Thank you, South West Trains. So I went online without difficulty. I found the right person to phone. I got hold of a real human being who asked me what train I was going to be on. I told him 7:08 from Southampton Parkway to Waterloo. Anyway, I got there and somebody was there ready to help me, and they put these ramps up which locked into a recess on the disabled part of the train. Although the train was crowded, I was able to wheel my chair in and sit somewhere safely. They helped me off at the other end. It was not difficult to find. I found where the taxi rank was. I got there, and it was no problem at all. They were clearly well geared up. The taxi drivers at Waterloo Station, they were clearly geared up to the fact that some people are in wheelchairs. So they bundled my wheelchair into the back of the taxi, took me to BMA House at Tavistock Square. I got in there, I rolled my wheelchair down to where I had to give my lecture. I was a second speaker and I gave my lecture. I did have to crawl up 7 steps on my hands and knees, but that was okay. Not a big problem. And that was okay. I delivered my lecture. I think it went okay. I won't know how people received it until I get the talk back, and got back from London. The other taxi driver was very helpful. No problem. My dear good wife Julia picked me up from the station. So yeah, lots of people were really helpful. The man on the train, tattooed, shaven, Cockney train assistant, was extremely helpful, went out of his way to be helpful. So that was really nice. And anyway, last week I had to cancel a talk I was giving in Belfast, and I lost quite a lot of money over that, because at some sort of work scale, if you don't turn up, you don't do the work, they can't pay you. Even if it wasn't your fault, if you don't deliver, you don't get paid. That's a lot of the real world actually works like that, oddly enough. Anyway, we're just out at the orchard, and I've had time to walk around, but we've driven past some of the trees and they're looking good. Yeah, the disability diary. Well, what have I learned from 2 weeks of being disabled? I've learned accidents can happen very easily. I already knew that, but I had obviously forgotten it. I've learned that one is more likely to have an accident when one is away from home, when one is excited, when one is in a hurry, when one isn't taking quite enough attention. There was on the way home yesterday, I must tell you this, there was a woman, I suppose of about 30, and a beautiful little boy whose name was Ethan. I know that because his mother referred to him as Ethan repeatedly, and he looked as though he was about 3.5 or 4 years of age perhaps, and he was quite talkative, and his mother was engaging with him. It was a good mother, trying very hard. Oh, I can see a heron. I don't know if you can see it, but there is definitely a heron right about the middle of the picture. Anyway, so she said, "Mummy, why that man in the wheelchair?" She said, "Well, why don't you ask him?" And he said to me, "Man, why are you in that chair?" So I leant down to Ethan and I said, "Because 2 weeks ago I was walking down the stairs and I wasn't paying enough attention, and I tripped and hurt myself, and I broke a tendon at the back of my leg, and now I can't walk until it mends." And anyway, so yeah, I was quite pleased with myself. I was quite pleased that I was able to actually get up to London and back with my wheelchair. Julia didn't have the time to come with me, so I managed it. I did okay. And they even gave me a 50% discount on the train. The taxis didn't ask for it either. So thank you to South West Trains and all the people who were helpful yesterday. Definitely it's better to avoid being disabled. Poor Sarah, my daughter, who suffers with epilepsy and autism. 3 of us were eating our burger and mashed potato and beans last night, and poor Sarah went into a convulsion. And she's left-handed. She was holding a steak knife. She only likes to eat with a steak knife, even when it's not appropriate. Autism is like that. And so she's got this very sharp knife in her hand, and she's clutching it like death while convulsing. I had to grab her by the hand and held her hard enough just to avoid harming herself with this sharp knife. But I didn't want to try and pull it away, for fear of breaking her fingers. Anyway, she came through the fit and was actually well enough to go out to Morris, in the Morris dancing an hour later. Poor thing. Yeah, it's being disabled makes you reflect on all sorts of things, and it also makes me reflect on jobs that I should have done, things I now won't be able to do. Some of them I should have done when I was able-bodied, when I was mobile. And looking at it, driving around the orchard, I put in a huge amount of effort. I think about a week before I hurt myself, I put in a huge amount of effort to thinning the apples, and looking out, it really paid off very well. So that's looking good. There were lots of rain, the apples have swelled. It's very beautiful out there. And I'd love to be walking around the orchard, but I can't. I've got to sit here until Julia's finished what she's doing, and then she'll come back and I'll hobble into the car and she'll drive me home. And yes, that's another thing I've learned that I already knew, that the love of a good woman is more valuable than any amount of gold or money or houses, and more valuable than a 1959 Les Paul, more valuable than a knighthood. The love of a good woman is of immeasurable value.